This would be a video call, so request you to please switch on the cam.
Okay. Are you able to see scan? Are you able to see, right?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Yes, I can. So, Ramu, before we get into any kind of a technical discussion, I would like to understand your exposure on the technology and your experience against those technologies.
Okay. Thanks for giving this opportunity, Govardhan. Yeah, I have total 9.8 years of experience in .NET technologies, and I have experience. My career started as an ASP.NET, and after that MVC. Presently working as a MVC core, and using the presently we are working as microservices and YAML files and deployment using Azure Kubernetes services. I have exposure on Azure services like App Services, Function App, Azure Service Bus, and Azure App Insight. Like storage accounts as well. Coming to the databases, I have exposure on SQL Server different versions as well as MongoDB. Whenever there is a need basis, we are using the MongoDB. I am the part of Center of Excellence. Yeah, I am part of the Center of Excellence team to do the POCs as well. Apart from my regular work, since 4.5 years, I was working as an ERP system, which is food management supplying an airline all the international airports. Our application do have to. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, the application is used to prepare the food on a flights. We have to do the forecast for the next 10 days. We have to buy the items and we have to do the inventory management also. It's a big ERP. It is also communicating with the MuleSoft as well as SAP system to communicate the different financial aspects, and each region wise we have the different tax calculations. This is basically the application, the flow.
Okay. So you work with .NET Core as well as .NET old version, right?
Yes.
Tell me what is the difference between the .NET Core and the older version, and then what advantages do you see with .NET Core?
Yeah, .NET Core, I can say it's a modularized based application, and it's a multi OS support in the sense of we can develop an application in the Windows. Also, we can able to host in the different versions by using the .NET kernel. Kestrel is the class platform a web server to supporting of hosting the different OSs. It's a kind of if you develop an application, it's a freeware. It's a kind of .NET Core is a freeware, and we can based on the by using the CLR commands, like we can able to then open that application, and we can also perform in any versions of the studios. It's not only the Visual Studio we have to open and we have to performance an application. Coming to the older version, it's a platform dependent. Everything. It has a monolith application supported, but as part of, I can say it's a platform dependent. The application can be hosted in the IaaS, but in the .NET Core we can hosted our application in IaaS, Nginx or Apache. It's a internet facing web server, as well as by using Kestrel we can able to host in the different versions of the .NET Core application, and we don't need to bother about what is the infrastructure.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you tell me something about dependency injection?
Yeah, dependency injection is basically it is it's a DA, is a framework. It has to be created by the objects based on the types which we performed. Let's say the dependency injection has to follow the life cycle. Give me 1 minute. Give me.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because we are staying in the rented house, we will get some noises.
Yeah,
Sorry for
even you
that.
see some background noise from my side, so we
Yeah.
cannot. That's okay.
So sorry for that. Yeah, the dependency injection basically it has to have the some life cycle. It has to be registered and resolved, and it has to perform the in terms of garbage collection, like memory management of all the things has to be taken care by the DA. Basically, it has to follow the some scopes. It is in transient scope per session or singleton. Based on the scope, it is all the things has been taken care by the third-party framework. The .NET Core inbuilt support the dependency injection, but other frameworks like .NET 4.0, like 4.5 and earlier versions of the .NET, we have to use the some inject other framework to do the support of dependency injections.
Can you tell me something about the lifespan of this particular dependency injection?
Yeah, it's deep. We have the three types like singleton, transient, and per session, like scoped, add scoped like that. Let's say if you declare as a object as a singleton, it will create only one object for entire application. And whenever it is anyone is trying to access or trying to give an type for requested for the original instance, it won't create a new instance again. It will check what is the scope. It is a singleton. It will try to get that object which is already created or not. If not created, it will create and it will return it. It's kind of singleton design pattern. It follows. In terms of transient, it won't check whether the object is available, it is already created or not. It will try to create a request for every time. The object that garbage collection can be taken care by the once the object operation can be completed, it will the memory management and garbage collection can be performed internally by the DA. Third thing is scoped. Let's say I have a request for one action. In that action, there is a constructor. It will create an instance of the particular iLogger. There is always possibility like we are calling as a service inside the controller. In the services itself also we are using the same iLogger or logging mechanism to inject it. In this case, it won't create an object again and again. It will check whether it is the same request or the different request. If it is same request, it will try to check whether the object is available. It will use it.
Okay. Can you tell me something about HTTP client? What it does, how it works, what are the different things that we have to look into when we are making use of client, HTTP client?
Yeah, HTTP client basically, if you want to access the resources, which is a REST service or other services which we want to access in the .NET or either in a .NET Core or .NET framework, we have to use the some clients in the server side to access the some other resources which are be available. In the HTTP client, which are used to whenever we need a resource or we want to push the resource in terms of a JSON, in terms of XML, the HTTP clients are used for communicating between the server side to other services which has been hosted in the same environment or same language or the different language.
Okay. Can you tell me how HTTP client works? What you said me is how the request is made and all the stuff,
Okay.
but how does it internally work?
Yeah, internally it will create a request object and it will try to set that what is the accept parameter, what are the content, what is the request what is the content type, what is an accept header, and where the resources is located. It is trying to push the request to the particular resources. Based on the resource, we need to specify the what is the action webs also, like whether it is a get or put or post. It will try to create in one request. Once we create a request, we will use that some predefined method like get async, put async, post async. It will try to based on the URI, we will configure that each request, right? It will try to create a one new request which is having the header, which is having the details, if there is any action maps, if there is any content types is specified like that. Based on the URI, it will identify the resources where is available. Based on the type, whether it is a put request or get request. Based on the data, whether it is a accept header or content type, it will try to form a request. It try to hit that services where is available. Based on the response, we can able to handle in the server side once the request is satisfied by the server.
So how it internally works with the sockets and all the stuff?
Sockets, I don't have any idea.
All right, no problem. So, uh, you know what is authentication?
Yeah, authentication to in terms of validating the user request, whether the user is a valid user or registered user. We will do that authentication in terms of if you want to access all the resources in a particular application.
Mhm, mhm. If you want to do authentication, okay. How does it do authentication? What concept does it follow?
What concept?
Or what concept are you familiar with?
We are using JAR token, OAuth2 and OpenID Connect, and we have also implemented Azure AD, WS Federation Service, and we are also known as like earlier versions of the .NET. We have used the SQL Server to save that information, user ID and password. Password is in hash table hash format. It will try to check, and we'll have the roles and what are the tasks for that particular user. We will do the authorization once the authenticated completed.
Okay. Now, so for example, you are using a JWT, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In case of JWT, say your token expires, what are you doing now?
Yeah, we have refresh token concept is there. We will give that access token and refresh token. It will check. It will check if once the user is the token is expired based on the time interval or expired the property mentioned in the payload. It will try to get that refresh token, and it will try to perform it regenerate the token, because of we have already the token and refresh token is the combination. It will try to regenerate it.
Okay. Do you know what is an IEnumerable, IList, IQueryable? What are these used for?
Yeah. IEnumerable, IQueryable, basically the difference between the IEnumerable is generics, like system data collections, and iQueryable is system dot link namespace. The basic difference here, IEnumerable to iQueryable, IEnumerable does not it supports a lazy loading. It will load all the parent data as well as child data. Like if you are using entity framework, it will load the parent and child data at a time in IEnumerable. iQueryable, it will load only the parent data. In terms of if you need the child data or subtables data, if there is a parent and child relation, it will for each request it will go to the request to the server. In IEnumerable, it will not go to the request to the server. It will do the operation on a client side in memory. It will save entire data into the in memory, and it will save it. It will try to perform an operation like where, order by, and all the things. In iQueryable, it is not like that. It will go for each operation. The request is go to the server. That is the one difference. IList, the difference between the IEnumerable to IList, IEnumerable is read only. Once there is I have a list of collection, I want to loop it. There is no, it is not required to update the list itself. It's not updated to the collection. I mean to say, the IList is the whenever we need to add an I element or delete an element, it is possible.
Okay. Okay. So, do you work with JavaScript?
Yeah, I am not much expertise, but I know how to handle the how to implement and how to handle if any
Hmm.
exceptions.
Do you know what is an anonymous function in JavaScript?
Yeah, anonymous function without creating the method definition, we can I can say we can we can implement the body.
So how is that used? Can you just give me more examples?
Um, Anonymous functions. I think I need some time. I know it. I need to. I need some time to the framing and all the things.
Do you know uh, what is a prototype?
Yeah, prototype is the definition of a uh, the definition of a function name and the parameters which we need to perform an operation or accept, or it will what is the written type of a particular function we can define in the prototype.
No, in JavaScript.
No.
Do you know what is the difference between a let and a var in JavaScript?
Yeah, basically the difference between the let and var is a scope. Like once we the let will be used, the lifetime of the let will be within a scope itself. We cannot able to access outside of the scope. Once we declare a var, we can able to access it.
Okay. Which backend do you use? SQL Server or Oracle?
SQL Server we are using.
An execution plan?
Execution plans tells us what is the memory utilization, IO utilization, and it will tell us about the cost of the particular query. Based on this, the cost based on the this execution plan, we might be getting the chance of what is the time is taking for execution of the time, where is taking of the IO operation, what is the scans it is going, like whether it is a table scan or index scan, or where there might be a seek of indexing of a particular table. We can able to do this all the things analysis to make a query performance optimization.
Okay. Do you know what are the different kinds of indexes supported in SQL Server?
Cluster index, non-cluster index, unique index, I know.
Okay. Do you know what is the information stored for a non-clustered index?
Information stored, keylookup.
Keylookup.
Key lookup.
Can you just give me more examples on what information, like how will it be? What is that key lookup? How is it stored?
You mean to say in the non-cluster or cluster index?
In non-cluster index.
Non-cluster index. Cluster index, I know the binary tree structure. Non-cluster index, it will save in terms of a key. Whatever, if you create a non-cluster index, and we can provide the names of the name and what are the key values on the particular non-cluster index, right? It will try to save in VLOOKUP. That's what I know. The in-depth I need to refresh. I know that it will use the VLOOKUP for non-cluster. I need to the refresh once.
Okay. So, you know what is a view?
A view is basically it's a kind of store the select query in terms of like I don't want to give a complete columns or complete table access to the outside user. I want to give the few of the columns when it is required. Those cases we can go with the view. We have the different concepts are also there. Like I have a table which is already defined. There is a chance of to rename the table. Rename the table in terms of to add the columns or to add the some much more columns which we don't want to give an access to the all the internal user. In these cases, I will create a one view which is having the old columns, and I will rename that table to the whatever the table to the renamed one, and we can also do the operation while we are getting the data. They don't want to bother about whether it is a table is changed or the columns is added. If we create a view, the users will be working on the view and they will try to get the data, perform an operation. If it is a simple view, if it is a complex view, it is very difficult.
Okay. Let's say can you use a view to delete, update the data?
Yeah, we can. We can use.
can use, is it?
Simple view. It's not a complex view. If we have the multiple tables are there, it is not possible. Simple table, we can also do that operation.
Okay. I have a query, select query,
Mm-hmm.
which has got lot of joins on multiple tables.
Okay.
I'll use that query to create one view.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll use the same query and then create a stored procedure.
Okay.
Okay, now given a choice, what will you choose? Don't worry about the stored procedure support of additional activities and all the stuff. It's just a select query that I have with a complex joins. So what will you choose?
Stored procedure.
Why?
It will use that execution plan and it will save it. Next time onwards, it will not go to the create a new execution plan again, and it will use the old execution plan. If you want to get the data from a table, it has to be some execution plan has to be used the SQL server to get the faster way. For view, it will not the concept. Background, it will save as a query. Every time it will try to access the table from the final table itself. It will not go with the any execution plan kind of thing in views.
Okay. All right. All right. I think that's all I had, Ramu, for the discussion. You have any specific questions for me?
No, Govardhan. I don't have any.
Okay. Then. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ramu. Thanks for your time. Have a
Bye-bye.
good day. Bye.